Oh, Marcus, you never fail to make me laugh. Yes, as the Utes say, we are vibing, are we not? Indeed. This was great, but I must go. My bicycle requires oiling. Understandable. Farewell, my friend. Oh yes, goodbye.
Wow, look at those butt cheeks.
Cállate. This restaurant serves cake.
I
Cassava.
must say, no homo. But how does one achieve the same level of gluteus maximus activation? Whatever do you mean, DeMarcus? How did you get those sweet, juicy yams? Oh, why didn't you just ask? Take a seat. We shall switch to voiceover.
A voiceover. Starting off with the deadlifts. I do about 60% of my 1 rep max. I don't know what my 1 rep max is yet, but technique is really important. Otherwise, you're going to snap some stuff up. I tend to leave about 3 reps left in my tank. Hack squat is the next one. I tend to do about 3 sets of 10 for this. Moderate weight. It's important to allow your knees to flare out a bit. In a way, kind of point them out to your toes. If you do this exercise incorrectly, it feels like your knees are about to pop out. You better not be watching this at work. You can see right inside my womb. Hip thrusts. Amazing exercise for the butt cheeks. There's some interesting studies that have shown a significant increase in butt cheek activation. It's normally due to the range of motion compared to a squat. So going up and holding it as opposed to going down with a squat. If you're actually trying to grow your glutes, this is one of the best exercises you can do. And of course, isolating them makes it even better. I like to do this to round off. I'll do about 2 sets of 15 reps. Just trying to control it as much as possible. I'm very new to this exercise, so I still haven't got the full kind of peng technique, but I do understand the value when it comes to growing a badonkadonk. And of course, we cannot grow a badonkadonk without doing some form of a lunge. Great for ass, thighs. I'm not going to use the scientific terms. We'll just go with ass and thighs. You know what I mean. When you go down and you come back up, hold it a little bit. Oh, I didn't really do it then, but you know what I mean. Next, we have back extensions. Really good for the hamstrings, lower back, and you can see that juicy butt just getting squeezed at the top. If you're doing this variation with the medicine ball, you want to arch your lower back just a little bit and you'll really feel it in the glutes. Thank you to this sweet old lady who doesn't know how to use TikTok. She's the one who pointed that out. Moving over to the hip abduction, using this sideward hip flex, it allows us to engage the side butt cheek muscles a lot more. That form's kind of messy. But this one is optional. I know a lot of people have told me that it kind of pinches, it feels strange, so do this at your leisure. For me, this is a leg day after all. I don't just come to the gym to do glute work. I like to do the hamstrings, the hip abductions, and we have to hit calves. I want to leave the gym with the lower half of my body wobbling. Otherwise, I've not really hit it correctly. And this doesn't even take into account, I do abs and I like to do cardio as well. I don't do cardio all the time, but now and again. But for calves, I know this is a bit of a trigger word and I must, oh my goodness, get that off the screen. What are those little sticks doing? That's better. It looks better when it's just the one. But I do a variation of this. So, one-legged. When I have my 2 legs on it, I'll point them inwards and then outwards and do a bunch of those. Calf video coming soon. Like I said, I know this causes a lot of trauma for people when you mention weak calves and pathetic calf genetics.
So I do push-pull legs, and each of those, push, the pull, the legs, I'll have 2 different exercises for each of those days. So this was on my second split of my leg day. As it's the second split of my leg day, there's a lot of exercises that I do that are not included in this video. Number 1, the first split, which is like to do with squats. And this particular video is just getting those clams nice and bouncy. That's all we're doing. A lot of these exercises are well known, but I must say, YouTube channel by Jeff Nippard, that's where I got a lot of the inspiration for these particular exercises. I like the channel. It's backed by a lot of science and a lot of research. That's the best way forward when it's actually been tested by people who know what they're speaking about. Previously, I followed a different plan, something that I used to do a few years ago. It was still effective, but it's nice to refresh things so I don't get bored or it becomes repetitive. And I gotta say, like, the gym right now for me, I'm not getting bored. And I'm so happy that I've reached a point where it's just not boring, it's exciting. I have to go. Like, I have to work out, otherwise the day hasn't really begun. Try the ones that are best for you. See how you find it. Comment in the section if you actually try and get a fat ass. I'm actually really glad I recorded myself because sweet golly gosh, my form can be terrible, so I didn't even realize until I set the camera down and started taking videos. This probably explains why I'm making like 40 to 60% gains and I'm not. Hench's Soraya.